Okay, let's talk about something we've probably all done. Have you ever gotten so caught up chasing something new and shiny that you kind of forgot about what was already right there? We're going to dive into this ancient story that honestly feels like it was written for us today. It's all about a timeless truth: loyalty. So let's start with a big question, one that gets right to the heart of a very human, very common mistake. We've all felt that pull, right? The comfort of the old and familiar versus that jolt of excitement, that little dopamine hit you get from something brand new. And look, this is not a new problem. This is a super old conflict between taking care of what you have and going after what you could have. And this choice, it pops up everywhere, in our friendships, our jobs, even inside our own families. What this fable really boils down to are two completely different mindsets. You've got the opportunist, who is all about acquisition, always chasing that next big thing. And then you have the steward, the person who gets that real, lasting strength comes from nurturing the foundation, the stuff that's already there. Okay, so let's get to the story. It's an old one, from Aesop, and it perfectly captures this whole dilemma. It's a really simple tale, but man, it packs a serious punch when it comes to integrity. So to really get what's happening here, you gotta know who's who. Our goat herd, he's the classic short-sighted opportunist. His own goats, the ones he already has, they represent his loyal, reliable foundation. And those wild goats? They're the shiny new thing he just can't take his eyes off of. So the whole thing kicks off with this unexpected opportunity. A storm rolls in, and suddenly, everyone, the goat herd, his flock, and these new wild goats are all stuck in the same cave together. It's the perfect setup for a test of character. And this is the moment where everything goes sideways. The goat herd makes a choice. To impress the strangers, he lavishes them with huge portions of food. But here's the kicker. He does it by taking away from his own loyal flock. He gives them just the bare minimum to survive, while he rolls out the red carpet for the newcomers. And you can probably guess what happens next, right? The plan completely backfires. The second the storm clears up, the wild goats are out of there. His big gesture, his investment in this flashy new thing, it gets him absolutely nothing. He's just left standing there, totally stunned. And this is where the story gets really brilliant. The wild goat's reply isn't ungrateful, it's incredibly smart. They saw exactly what he was doing. They understood with perfect clarity that the way he treated his old friends was a crystal clear preview of how he would eventually treat them. So let's just flip this around for a second and look at it from the wild goat's perspective. They weren't just passing through, they were watching. They were gathering intel on this guy's character. And here is the absolute key insight of the whole story. Being singled out for special treatment isn't a compliment, it's a massive red flag. When you see someone being extra nice to a newcomer while ignoring their loyal crew, it doesn't prove they're generous. No, it proves they're unreliable. You see, you've got two totally different ways of looking at the world here. The goat herd thinks, hey, a big, showy gesture will buy me loyalty. But the wild goats are way smarter. Their logic is, nope. The only thing that matters is how you treat the people who are already here. They're not looking at the welcome mat. They're looking at the foundation. And this kind of puts the mirror up to our own faces, doesn't it? It forces us to ask a tough question. In our own lives, when we're trying to impress new people or chase new opportunities, are our actions accidentally screaming, I'm not trustworthy? So, okay, this is a nice old story, but what does it actually have to do with us today? Let's talk about how this exact same dynamic plays out all the time right now. In our personal lives, this is that classic situation where you ditch your best friend to hang out with the cool new person. And what happens? The new acquaintance sees that you're fickle, your loyal friend feels totally abandoned, and you're at risk of losing both. You see this in families too, or in any kind of mentor relationship. When a leader is constantly praising outsiders but never acknowledges the hard work of their own team, they're teaching a really painful lesson. Your loyalty means nothing here. And that just breeds resentment. It breaks down trust completely. And oh my gosh, in the workplace, this is a recipe for absolute disaster. Companies give massive sign-on bonuses to new hires, while the veteran employees who built the place get nothing. Then they wonder why people leave. The experienced folks walk, and the smart new hires realize, okay, my clock is ticking before I'm the one being ignored. All right, so let's wrap this all up. What is the one big idea we should take away from all this? Well, it's a simple but really powerful principle for building a life that actually has integrity. Think of it like this. You can't build a strong temple by ignoring the foundation just so you can make the roof look pretty. It's a universal law. Real, lasting value grows from the center out. At the end of the day, your history, how you've consistently treated people, that's your real resume. So here are a few things you can actually tell yourself, to put this wisdom into practice. These are just simple reminders to be consistent, to honor the people who've had your back, and to always, always choose what's true over what's just new. Because here's the bottom line. Real loyalty, the kind that lasts, is never bought with one big flashy move. It's earned, slowly, consistently. It's earned by showing up and being a person of your word. The right people, the ones you actually want in your life, they're not looking for a bribe. They're looking for reliability. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about as you go about your day. Who are your goats? Who are the loyal foundations in your life? The people, the projects, the values that have always been there for you. And the real question is, are you feeding them first? Make sure they feel it today.